When Suzanne Morphew vanished on Mother's Day 2020, she left behind 2 daughters, a locked house, and a mountain bike tossed deep in the woods. What followed wasn't just a search, it was a descent into secrets no one saw coming. A spy pen recording forbidden conversations, a hidden affair, strange late-night trash runs across county lines, and a husband who claimed he was chasing deer, but may have been hunting something else. This wasn't a random disappearance. It was the unraveling of a life built on silence, control, and something far more dangerous. So, what really happened to Suzanne Morphew? And why, after all this time, with her radiant smile, loving family, and small-town charm, Suzanne Morphew looked like she belonged in a Hallmark movie. She had moved to Colorado for a fresh start with her family, husband Barry and their 2 daughters. From the outside, they were the picture of health and happiness. Barry, a former high school baseball prodigy drafted by the Toronto Blue Jays. Suzanne, a middle school teacher turned full-time mom. 2 bright, beautiful daughters. A stunning home in the Colorado mountains. But behind closed doors, something darker simmered. Suzanne was struggling. She was battling cancer. Emotionally, she was exhausted, and her marriage? Crumbling. According to friends and family, Barry was controlling, emotionally distant, and increasingly volatile. Yet on May 10, 2020, Mother's Day, Barry claimed everything was fine. He said they'd had a romantic night, even made love, that he left early for work the next morning, leaving Suzanne peacefully asleep. But later that day, neither of their daughters, away on a camping trip, could reach her. Her phone was off. No one had seen or heard from her. A neighbor, checking in at Barry's request, found Suzanne's car in the driveway, but she wasn't home. Her bike was later found tossed into a ravine as if it had been staged. Just days into the investigation, police uncovered a shocking twist. Inside the Morphew home, tucked into the master bedroom, they found what looked like an ordinary pen. But it wasn't ordinary at all. It was a spy pen designed to secretly record audio, the kind of device you'd expect in a James Bond movie, not in a suburban mom's nightstand. Suzanne had planted it, not to catch a killer, but to catch her husband in an affair. Except the plan backfired. Because the recordings didn't capture Barry being unfaithful, they caught her in a secret romance with a man named Jeff Libler. Jeff was a married father of 6, living in Michigan. He and Suzanne had known each other in high school. After reconnecting on Facebook in 2018, they rekindled a relationship, long distance, passionate, and deeply hidden from the world. They sent love letters, shared intimate photos, and even talked about escaping it all, moving to Ecuador to start a new life. On May 9th, the day before she vanished, Suzanne and Jeff exchanged 59 messages. At 2:11 p.m., she messaged, "Okay, I'm on WhatsApp." 15 minutes later, Barry texted that he was heading home. From that moment forward, Suzanne never replied. Did Barry see her messages? And if so, did it ignite something irreversibly violent? As detectives dug deeper into Barry Morphew's timeline, things didn't add up. He claimed he left early on Mother's Day for a job 3 hours away. That part? Technically true. But there was an enormous gap in time that couldn't be explained. Between 2:47 p.m. and 10:17 p.m. on May 9th, the day before Suzanne vanished, Barry's phone was in airplane mode. That means no GPS tracking, no calls, no data, just silence. When asked about that missing 8-hour block, Barry gave an answer that stunned even veteran investigators. "I was chasing chipmunks." He claimed he had spent that afternoon running around the outside of his house with a gun, shooting chipmunks that were damaging his landscaping. To law enforcement, it was absurd. There were no gunshot reports, no neighbors saw or heard anything, and crucially, no dead chipmunks were found. Meanwhile, his Ford F-250 was silently recording everything. At 9:30 p.m., long after Barry claimed he had gone to sleep, the truck suddenly backed up, 96 feet closer to the house. Investigators believe that's when something or someone was loaded into the back. Why lie? Why offer such a bizarre story unless you're hiding something? And what about those phone pings from earlier? They showed Barry circling the perimeter of the house, erratically. Was he really hunting rodents? Or was he chasing Suzanne in her final, terrifying moments? Barry Morphew's behavior on Mother's Day morning wasn't just odd, it was strategic. After allegedly leaving his home at 5 a.m. to drive to a job site in Broomfield, investigators traced his movements through digital forensics, phone pings, GPS, and most importantly, trash runs. Barry made 5 separate stops to dump trash that day. Not 1, not 2, 5. First, a bus stop trash can, then a McDonald's dumpster, then the parking lot of Men's Warehouse, then the hotel, then back again. Each time caught on surveillance, each time wearing gloves, each time discarding bags whose contents have never been recovered. When investigators asked what he was throwing away, Barry's answer was astonishingly casual. Just some junk. I didn't want to pay landfill fees. But here's the kicker. The co-worker who took over Barry's hotel room hours later told police the room reeked of chlorine. So strong it was as if someone had scrubbed every inch. Barry claimed the smell came from the pool 1 floor below. Meanwhile, Suzanne's personal items, her purse, wallet, driver's license, were all in her car. But her cell phone? Gone. Just like her. Her bike was discovered tossed into a ravine near their home. Her helmet, found a mile away as if thrown from a moving vehicle. There were no witnesses, no blood, no confession. Was Barry disposing of random trash? Or was he erasing evidence of a crime so carefully planned it nearly fooled everyone? It was a small piece of plastic. Clear, lightweight, barely noticeable. But to seasoned investigators, it wasn't just plastic. It was a warning. Inside the Morphew family dryer, a forensic team found a syringe cap. The kind used to seal a tranquilizer dart. The same kind hunters use to sedate large animals. And Barry Morphew? He was no stranger to tranquilizers. He proudly admitted to illegally shooting deer with darts so he could cut off their antlers and sell them for profit. "You'll find darts all over my property," he told agents. "I've done it for years." So what happens if that same method is used on a human? Experts say a tranquilizer dart loaded with the wrong dosage can paralyze a person within minutes. It's powerful enough to drop a 200-pound buck. For someone like Suzanne, petite, already weakened from chemotherapy, the effects would have been devastating. And remember those bizarre cell phone pings? Barry's phone bouncing erratically around the outside of the house? At first, he claimed he was chasing chipmunks, but now investigators had a darker theory. Barry had shot Suzanne with a dart, and those pings marked him chasing her, room to room, yard to yard, as the sedative took hold. The scratches later seen on Barry's arms? Signs of a struggle. Maybe Suzanne fighting back, confused, terrified, fading. This wasn't a spontaneous act of rage. It may have been a methodical hunt. Did Barry turn his wife into just another trophy in his collection of mounted animals? 1 year after Suzanne vanished, authorities made their move. On May 5, 2021, Barry Morphew was arrested and charged with first-degree murder, tampering with a deceased human body, and attempting to influence a public servant. The arrest affidavit was over 129 pages long, filled with digital forensics, behavior patterns, text messages, and motive. The case seemed ready for trial. But the moment the handcuffs clicked shut, the case took an unexpected turn. Inside Suzanne's Range Rover, crime scene investigators had found something strange. Male DNA. Not Barry's. Not Jeff Libler's either. It was a partial match to an unknown man, a convicted serial sexual offender linked to 3 unsolved assaults in Tempe, Phoenix, and Chicago. And just like that, Barry's defense team had a weapon. They argued this was a case of tunnel vision, that detectives, desperate for someone to blame, ignored hard science, that they ignored a possible serial predator whose DNA was literally inside Suzanne's car. The defense went public. If Barry's DNA wasn't found at the scene, and the man whose DNA had attacked women before, then why is Barry the one in jail? Prosecutors tried to minimize it. They claimed the DNA could be contamination, but the judge wasn't convinced. It raised a chilling question. Had investigators been chasing the wrong man for an entire year? Was Barry a murderer, or just the easiest suspect to build a case around while the real threat slipped away unnoticed? As Barry's trial date approached, The case crumbled. A new judge took over. Prosecutors were sanctioned for repeatedly missing discovery deadlines, failing to turn over crucial evidence. As a result, 14 key witnesses were barred from testifying, including experts in digital forensics and DNA. The prosecution's theory that Barry sedated and murdered Suzanne before disposing of her body was left full of holes. Without a body, blood, or witnesses, the case became dangerously fragile. Then, in April 2022, the district attorney filed a shocking motion. All charges were dropped, without prejudice. That meant the case could be refiled if new evidence emerged. But for now, Barry walked free. Suzanne's family, devastated. Barry's daughters smiling at his side. The DA said they believed Suzanne's body would soon be found, possibly buried in a remote stretch of the San Isabel National Forest. But months passed. No body, no new arrests. And Barry? He now claims he's the victim. But Suzanne's sister had one final message.
Sent me a text message. It was very lengthy. It was very powerful. It was very revealing.
So where is Suzanne Morphew? And is her killer still walking free? Suzanne Morphew has been missing for over 3 years. No body, no closure. Only questions and heartbreak. She was a mother, a sister, a woman desperate to escape a marriage she believed was suffocating her. And now she's a ghost, remembered only through photos, journal entries, and the pain of those left behind. Was justice delayed or justice denied? One thing is clear, this case is far from over. If new evidence is discovered, Barry Morphew could be tried again. But until Suzanne is found, the truth remains buried. If you found this story as haunting as we did, subscribe to this channel for more deep dives into the darkest cases of our time.